Hello and welcome back to Jikoronopa, Laments of Isolation. In the previous episode, well, must I say less? Or more even? Who knows what I meant to say? Asuka Kitaka has unfortunately left us, and I'm actually quite upset about it. More than I expected to be. I didn't expect them to leave the game this early, so it was kind of a shocker. I was always aware of the possibility they could leave because of their tense relationship with Kazuyuki and their duo with Toshi to develop Toshi's character. I was always aware of the fact that they could die. But for some reason I kind of convinced myself that out of the two, Toshi would be the one to die, not Asuka, and I was like, interesting. Huh. So yeah, I'm actually quite upset. I wasn't expecting them to go. It's like, ugh. I didn't even do any of their free time events. And you know what? If the game had let me do, in the last like three options I had, I would have done three of Asuka's, I'm being completely honest. But the second I want to do Asuka's free time events, they were just gone. I couldn't do them. And like, oh, okay, that's great. I don't mind. Of course, thank you, game. However, I was doing some thinking before I came to record this episode, and I was like, what do I want to do? So I just wrote down a list of everyone's names. If I bother to get it on screen, you'll see it. Though the vast majority of times I say something like that in a video, I'd never do it. So I wouldn't have my fingers crossed that future me will have the capability of doing that. But I wrote down everyone's names, and I was thinking, okay, who do I think didn't come in this murder? So the first five people I ruled out were Hikari, Ryusuke, Fuyuka, Chuki, and Tsubaki. And that's mostly more for a meta reason that I think in terms of the story, it would be kind of odd if one of those five was the killer. In terms of Hikari and Ryusuke, I think the important thing we need to notice the timeline here. So Asuka presumably died tonight on if I get the UI back up here. Well, actually the day doesn't show, but currently it's the night of day 11. We met with Toshi and Chuki in the infirmary this night today. When we were thinking about Daisuke, we kind of just got into a panic attack, ran back to our room, and we passed out. When we woke up, it was like 7 or 8 o'clock. We went to see Ryu to talk about our secret. We learned about that Naoki was kind of part of running the killing game, and Hikari got a bit upset. But we hung out with Ryusuke and we watched some horror movies. Then we came down here because we invited Ryu to join our poetry meetings, and we wanted to show him some of our poems and just get him into the idea of what sort of thing he would have to expect. And then when we came down to the art room, here we see Asuka. So, but when we were talking to Toshi and Chuki, Toshi said he was going to look for Asuka. So so obviously Toshi has something to do with this case. So when we get his testimony, that's always going to be more important to my thinking. However, in my mind, that pretty much clears Ryusuke. And obviously, I'm the main character. I know I didn't do anything. And obviously, I know some people might think of it like, hey, what about Kolette? I really doubt Hikari's the culprit. No, I just feel like it would be a very questionable choice for her to be Chapter 2 culprit. Along with the fact that we didn't see her do anything weird, I don't. I think it would just be a bad narrative choice if she was the killer. I wouldn't like it. And anyways, she's the main character, so I heavily doubt she's the person behind this. For Chiyuki, I feel like a lot of her character from chapter one is getting the group together, and she kind of lost that at the start. But then when we got her back out of her shell, she kind of the way I look in her eyes, I thought she was obsessively trying to get this group to be together, and she would be the glue that keep everyone together no matter what happens. So I just don't think she would commit a murder, and with the potential character arc, especially from chapter one, I just don't see why Chuki would be the killer. Similarly for Fuyuka, even though she went on her own, I don't think she would murder anyone, especially from Dia's like outburst during this first investigation about Fuyuka's internal struggles or not being able to protect everyone. I don't think she would willingly kill someone like this because she was clearly very against murderers, saying she would kill whoever killed Daisuke when we went to the elevator. She clearly doesn't like murder. I think she does want to keep the group safe, but she just doesn't know how to. So that's why I ruled her out. And Tsubaki, for similar reasons to Chuki, narratively, I don't really know why it would be Tsubaki because I feel like she's been built up to be a very important character in Hikari's development. Like Hikari always, so far, has been someone to depend on. Fuyuka has been teaching her to teach people as strangers. Shuki has been showing her how to um help the whole group. But I feel like Tsubaki is kind of a middle ground, and I never really thought of it when I was thinking about all the characters. But now when I thought it when I was trying to think about who would commit this murder, Tsubaki really is the middle ground, and she is helping Hikari realize that she shouldn't really care about what others think of her, and she should just do what she thinks is right and apologize if she thinks she does something wrong. And she told her it's good that she's apologizing when she thinks she does something wrong, but she's also made her aware that she's apologizing even when she's done nothing, and she shouldn't be doing that. Shouldn't be a pushover. And even though that might be just me, my bias from doing her free time events, Yeah, I don't think it'd be Tsubaki. I think it'd be weird for her to be the chapter 2 killer. And I think there's more in offer. There's more than this that in this game that wants to offer to our character. With that said, that narrows the list down to Kolette, Maun, Ikki, Seinosuke, Kazuyuki, and Toshi. And I've just automatically ruled out Asuka because I don't think they kill themselves. That'd be kind of weird. And so then I ruled out the two people who I just don't think would murder, and those two were Kolette and Toshi. Toshi because they were close to Asuka, and I don't think they would murder, especially with the whole character being about trying to be a hero. Even if that stance was wavering, I truly don't think Toshi would willingly murder someone here. Even if they were like down in the dumps but everything happened, I truly don't think they would murder. Samely for Colette, even though a lot of unfavorable things from her past got revealed to her, I truly don't think she would actually murder someone. She helped Ryu, she helped Chiyuki in the trial. Despite everything, she just said, even when her truth got revealed, she just said she didn't want to talk about it and she would tell us all when the time was right for her. I really don't think she would murder someone. Even though the chapter has been really prevalent with her character, I don't think she would murder somebody. And that leaves four people: Mauen, Ikki, Sensei, and Kazuyuki. Kazuyuki does the obvious motive. They were always tense. If the two of them got into a scruffle or a fight, I could see Kazuyuki going after Asuka. Ikki and Seinosuke were behind the whole plan of the reflection system. They clearly had a whole plan going on, so they could be doing whatever the hell. And then Mauen is kind of weird because I'm going to bring up something up in a minute, but Mauen has not had much relevance to this chapter. Then again, I would say that Mayume didn't have that much relevance, but she had her moments as well by protecting Shuki, while defending Shuki, being one of the first people we meet, having more of a bigger voice, more of a moral voice. So Mayume had her moments, but Mauen in this chapter has not been that relevant. She fought Asuka to quote unquote get into the William Warriors. She helped Shuki get out of her room, and she was with Kolette um when Hikari told Kolette about her secret. So every time that Mauen's been in here, it's really only been an accessory to Colette's development. So I think at first glance it'd be kind of weird for Mauen to be the killer and to die this chapter because she hasn't really done much of her own volition. However, there is a theory that I've been coming up with about this murder specifically, with no basis at all. I just think it'd be interesting. Seinosuke wants the killing game to continue. I truly believe that to be true considering it's chapter 1 end scene. He says he wants the game to continue. Ikki and Seinosuke were trying to get the reflection system going again for whatever reason. But I think they were just trying to get poaching missions to try and figure out what everyone's truths may be. Now, here's where it's interesting. At the beginning of the game, everyone revealed their truth to one other person before the rule was announced you couldn't share your truth to the group. So one person knew someone else's secret. Now that's very important because in chapter 1, let's see. No, wait, sorry. Return. Guess. Daisuke died first, and Daisuke knew our secret. So right now, we're the only person who knows our secret. Mayume was the culprit, and Mayume told Ryu. So Ryu's secret is to himself. Asuka was the victim this time, and interestingly, Asuka knew Ikki's secret. And obviously, Ikki and Seinosuke have this whole plan, and Mauen is one of my quote unquote top suspects with no notion of this case. And do I know whose secret Mauen knows? Seinosuke's. Seinosuke told Mauen his secret, I believe. I actually didn't double check that. I just remember the parents that were there when I was introduced to everyone, and I'm assuming those were who the secret parents are. But I think Mauen knew Seinosuke's secret, or well, truth. So a part of me wonders if Seinosuke and Ikki somehow manipulated Mauen into killing Asuka, so nobody in this game would know their truth. Because if nobody knew their truth, then if they did something awful, no one will be able to reveal their truth to stop them, I guess? That's just something that came up to my head. I was like, oh, that'd be interesting if that was what they were going for. And I feel like it'd be interesting to see for Colette's development to see Mauen die like that, especially because Mauen hasn't done anything. I feel like it would give a real sense of, oh, even people who aren't relevant could just die and be like, oh, wow. And also, even if Mauen hasn't been developed as much, she has had her moments, especially with Colette. And I think having Colette more developed and Mauen step pushing her further, I think it'd be very interesting. However, that's just me hypothesizing on things that haven't even happened yet. So to rank my suspects: Mauen, Ikki, because Yuki's Seinuke on my top 4, with a very heavy doubt on Seinuke. So just have my top 3 suspects. Mauen, Ikki, then Kazuyuki. Those are my top 3 suspects who know nothing about the murder. However, there's some interesting things that I wasn't really noticing of. And that's what's probably going to find out in a couple seconds whether I'm right or wrong. Asuka's knuckles are bruised, which means that he probably fought with someone. And his cause of death was a slit to the throat. And he's holding a knife with blood on it, so assumably that was what killed them. However, there's something very interesting. There's a blood trail over here coming from the door opposite, on the opposite side of the room. However, Asuka's body is clearly here, and there's no blood from this blood trail to their body. So what I fear greatly is that there is another dead body inside this room. And once we open it, there's going to be 2 dead bodies, and that's like, oh god. And if there is, kind of everything I just said before, I might be thrown to moot. To moot. But yeah, I think Asuka fought with that killer, or they fought with whoever is in this room opposite, if there's a dead body in there. But with that said, I've yapped enough about what I think. I haven't even investigated yet. This investigation is probably going to split up into 2 or 3 episodes, similarly to the first one. But you know what? Let's just get into it. Asuka was lying on the ground, blood all around them. His throat was slit. Right, before I go into it, well, I already went into it. Before I go any further, I should also mention the body discovery announcement. Let me just take that down. Ryusuke and Hikari. The BDA only plays when 3 people find the body for the first time or the killer finds it for the second time, then they're included. So right now, only 2 of us have seen the body. However, if I'm correct, last episode I said something about the elevator being on this floor when we got into it, so there could be somebody on this floor, and if there is, then that would mean the cupboard is on the floor right now, or there's another witness who saw the body. So if the body discovery plays right now, then there's likely someone else on the floor. Conversely, if there's a body in that room over there, Asuka and who's ever in that other room could have just killed each other. And then that's why the elevator was on this floor, and then no one would get executed. I doubt it's the case because I think it'd be very lackluster to have a chapter where no one is executed, because I feel like that's kind of the appeal. And also, chapter 2 can be a weird one. I don't know. I just don't think that's the case, but it's just an idea to throw out there. Asuka, are you? How can you be? We both rushed to Asuka's body. Ryu kept crying out. He put his hand on the heart, but it was futile. I fell to the ground. I stared. Asuka's dead. Asuka's dead. Asuka's dead. Asuka's dead. Asuka's dead. Asuka's dead. Why did I ever think it was going to get better? It never got better for me back home. Why would it go any differently here? Okay, well, that is some trauma we have not gotten into. We have kind of gotten into it. We never getting better. Like, okay, wow. All that's waiting for me is my own misery. Everything on my shoulders. Everything on me to blame. That's how it is. Always was, and always will be. Maybe if I wasn't so scared of Asuka, they wouldn't be dead. Maybe if I had checked on them, they wouldn't be dead. Maybe. Maybe is all I could ever think when everything's always my fault. When everything is always because of some stupid thing I do. It's always my damn fault. No heartbeat. They're really. I will say, a part of me got scared for a moment that Asuka really wasn't dead, and I really left on a cliffhanger where on a personal life, and I thought I left Asuka just lying there, barely dead for 24 hours. But you know what? Asuka is dead, so that's good for us. At the very least, I didn't leave a barely alive person just lying there. So yes, I, I can't bear to hear it out. What do we do? What do we? Body discovery. Now that means someone thought a body before us. Presumably a third party. Ding ding ding, you freaks, you felons, you goblins and gremlins and gobsmackers. Wake up, wake up, wake up. We have an epic spaghetti dinner in the second floor hall area. Or, well, with no noodles. Or meatballs. Maybe some sauce to your vampire. And don't think about avoiding it. You know what awaits you if you do. Shut the Wait, Hikari, I think I see. What? There's some blood coming from. You pointed to the storage room. The door was slightly open, and in what little of the room we could see, there was a vivid colour I'd begun to recognise all too well. We need to check. Oh God, is there actually a dead body in there? If there is a if this is a double murder, I would actually be quite proud of myself for predicting that. I think that was probably one of my better predictions so far in this game, if there is one. Mm-hmm. You and I quietly walked in the storage room together. I could hear his deep breathing. Or maybe some of that heavy breathing were my own. I gently opened the door. Damn it. Okay, Ikki. That is... that certainly turns things to an interesting note. You know what? One of my 3 predictions was correct. Ikki did die. Okay, at the very least, one of them. Okay, oh God, Ikki. Okay. I'm fine with that. There were other characters I liked more. Kind of mean for me to say when someone died. Okay, there was others I liked more. Okay. I knew Ikki was going to die. This is fine. I'm actually more sad about Asuka's dead more than anything. But I'm actually surprised I actually did correctly predict that. Okay, so everything I said about Ikki and Shinsuke coming up with a way to, uh, coming up with a plan to manipulate Maoin into killing Asuka, so not neither of the secrets will be revealed. Clearly incorrect, because I'm looking at the corpse of Ikki, and that would not make sense if that was theory was true. So null that from the record. And Ikki is now dead, which means presumably they didn't kill Asuka. Of course, there is the theory that they killed each other, but that would be quite boring. I could see one killing the other, but I wouldn't say that the culprit. I wouldn't say they killed each other. At most, one killed the other. So we have to figure out who died first. Asuka was holding the knife that was used to slit them, presumably. So the killer would have probably placed it in their hands unless they killed themselves. So unless Asuka killed Ikki and then killed themselves. However, I just don't think it's going to be a suicide. I don't really have any proof for it. That's just my gut feeling. Okay, but Ikki is dead. You know what? I'm happy I predicted that this chapter was going to be a double murder. I don't know how I got the idea in my brain, but with everything that was going on, with all the different groups, it just made sense to me in my brain that there would be a double murder, because with, there was obviously Ikki, Shinsuke, Kolette, Maoin, Toshi, Kazuyuki, Asuka. There were 3 main groups in this chapter. I thought it'd be weird if there was only one victim, then you could only really do so much with all those 3. And I thought it'd be weird if any of them made it to the next chapter unscathed. It just feel like we would continue the same thing. So I'm actually quite glad there is a double murder. I think it will make the game more interesting for the future chapters. But yeah, okay. That is... Huh. But I need to take note if the body discovery goes here as well. That is Asuka's BDA. Here. She didn't know how to react anymore. After seeing the deaths of 3 people, the fort barely seemed more than a statistic. His corpse was barely more than a statistic, even if they didn't deserve that. We're going to have to go through this again, aren't we? No. Why? Why are there 2 bodies? Why are both of them dead? Why do you... Okay, Hikari, please. That is a crazy first reaction to have. Why do you care they're dead? He might have been suspicious of the group, but he's allowed to feel empathy towards the dead for that being murdered. Huh? What are you talking about? Why wouldn't I care? I couldn't trust them, but they were still living and breathing people. I should care. I should be crying. I should be screaming. I should be doing anything but feeling like this. But I can't care about strangers. They're just strangers. Asuka never offered to defend me. They never encouraged me to express my feelings freely. Ikki never listened to me during the first trial. Ikki never encouraged us to mourn those who passed. Wait, okay, now we're just lying to ourselves? Asuka never offered to defend me. False. They never encouraged me to express my feelings. False. Ikki never listened to me during the first trial. False. He was a detective and he was one of the only people who listened to you. And he was the one who drew the portraits of Mayume and Daisuke and made a beacon for you to pass. I think it's very interesting how you're just lying to yourself. They never did those things. They never did anything of the sort. they were never anything more than strangers. I hear the elevator. Let's go. I didn't want to look at Ikki's corpse anymore. His lifeless body scared me. Also, I should probably notice, I did register it, but I never said it out loud vocally, I don't think. Ikki has obviously drawn something with his hand. It looks like a 7, but it could also be an upside down L. I don't think anyone names begin with L though. Kolette, Chuki, Mauen, well, L, yeah. No. Who would be a 7 though? Unless you were trying to say like the 7th tallest person or their birthday, but that would be kind of odd. I don't know why you would go for that. But what's the 7th? The 7th month is July, so is anyone born in July? June, April, February. Well, nobody in this game was even born in July, so it's clearly not that. Anyone born on the 7th? Daisuke, dare you murder this piece of shit? Fuyuka. Okay, guys. I'm gonna say Fuyuka's the culprit because she was born on the 7th day of the month. Hikari, might I ask, kindly, what the actual fuck? I didn't want to look at Ikki's corpse anymore. His lifeless body dug into my memory. Wait, don't leave me here. I exited the storage room. The elevator. Only 2 people stepped out of the elevator. Seinuke and Fuyuka. They stared at what was lying on the ground, a stranger's corpse. So that's our victim. Yikes. Guess it was kinda inevitable, considering all that drama with the motive. How could you say that? Inevitable? Somebody died, and you could at least express a little more. Hikari, did you two discover the body just now? We did. But why were you the only ones that came up? I made a deal with Dia beforehand. To prevent more chaos, I suggested that only 2 of us see the situation first. Interesting. I wonder why you chose Seinuke, considering you don't really trust him. Okay. Tsubaki is currently gathering those who refuse to get out of their room, with Dia's help. By the way, to completely change the subject, I'm pretty sure Ikki died from a spear. I'd have to look at this CG again because I didn't really take it all in. I saw the dying message type thing, but I didn't really take in his wounds. But it kind of looked like there was just one single like hole that penetrated to his entire body. So I'm pretty sure it was probably a spear that killed him. That looked like something that could cause that type of wound. So that's my preliminary guess on what the cause of that is. Blood loss from a spear. But yeah, when are we going to tell these 2 that Ikki is dead? Like, we should probably tell them. We should probably tell them. Guys, by the way, there's a second one in the storage room. If you want to go check. Unluckily for us, I doubt our robot overlord is going to be so generous in the future. Luckily for me, that is my bread and butter. I eat blood and bones for breakfast, you know. Shut up. Let's go back and inform the others of who died. Please, don't leave yet. It's not the only body. What? What are you saying? Check the storage room. There's a second corpse. It's. Fuyuka ducked around us and ran straight from the storage room. A few seconds later, she came back and started yelling. Seinuke, go back and tell everyone. Don't make them panic. Just
Explain.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure that Fuyuka was trying to send Senosuke away so he wouldn't have to look at Ikki's body, but now we're going to tell him that Ikki's dead, and I'm very interested to see how he reacts, because it's a part of me still is wondering how much of Senosuke's personality is an act, so I'm not really sure how much I can trust his input towards Ikki's death, but I'm very interested to see what happens.
Wait a sec. What did you see? Can't tell him without the full information, Queenie. Ikki has also been murdered.
Okay, clearly that wasn't her intention, because she wouldn't have been so out blunt with saying he died if she actually cared that much.
Yahara. Got it. I'll be back.
Senosuke rushed into the elevator. Interestingly enough, the BDA hasn't played yet, which I wonder why. Because right now, right now, Hikari, Ryusuke, and Fuyuka have all seen Ikki's body. Let me just make sure I understood the rules right. It's the third rule. In case of murder, 3 individuals discover a body someone else will play. It will announce the location of the body. Right. And even if one of us 3 was the killer, this is Ikki was already dead when it got to this floor. So the killer clearly already left the floor. And even if they didn't leave the floor, they'd have to be in either the art room or the library, which means Hikari, it couldn't be if Hikari Ryusuke Fuyuka would be the killer, no matter what, it would still be the second time. So the BDA should have played regardless. So I guess we'll see if the BDA plays again.
I expected another murder, but I can't understand this. What's the point in killing 2 when you only need 1 to escape?
So there could be 2 killers, however, 2 bodies being so close to each other seems unlikely. So I wonder if the killer kills Senosuke. The killer kills Ikki. Asuka walks in, they get into a fist fight. They grab a knife off of Asuka, slit them in the throat. Asuka dies. Culprit just gets the hell out of there. And I was thinking, if Ikki was drawing the letter L, or writing the letter L rather, it could be the L in LaRue or Kolette. Who even has an L? No, 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 no. Stanislaw, no. L is clearly a very uncommon name. A letter in names, I guess. Tsukamoto, Kazuyuki Itozaki, and Tsubaki Sato. So Colette Colette's literally the only person with the letter L in her name. So that makes her a little suspicious, but I really hope it's on her.
I wish I knew. This is too cruel.
Isn't there a rule about somebody else witnessing the murder?
We're thinking. If someone was to commit murder, they would have to kill anybody who witnessed it, or else they would suffer punishment.
What was the rule about that again? Because I actually completely forgot about it. What is it? Each guest has their own living space at night, no intentional violence, there may be exceptions. Okay, wait, no, I clearly missed it. Is it the second one? No uninvolved guests may witness their crime. Fair. But it says uninvolved, so if someone who is involved in the crime witnesses it, then that wouldn't be against the rules technically. So I wonder if someone's going to help someone commit murder. Maybe not this case, but maybe in a future one that will apply.
But then again, there are other possibilities.
Other?
I'll keep those possibilities to myself, for now. You two, what led you to discovering these bodies?
Can I tell her, Ryu? Ryu got my information. We met up and then spent a few hours together eating and watching horror movies. We were going to check out the poems in the ash room, but
this.
Ryu and I took a glance at Asuka's body. My breathing got heavier, and as I looked away again, I accidentally bit my tongue.
I see. I'll keep that in mind.
The elevator doors opened again, Sensuke had brought Tsubaki and Kolette with him.
Hey, how many times has the elevator been used so far tonight? I have a feeling it's going to break down again sometime soon. I was thinking the exact same thing, so I'm glad Tsubaki just said it. That elevator is going to crash it and burn any second now. No. At least like 3 times? I mean, third time's the charm. So maybe next time it'll fully break, and I'll fall to my death, and I'll get to see my boyfriend again. I mean, what?
I mean, so yeah, it's been used 3 times. It was used when Hikari and Ryusuke went down, when it was called back up for Tsubaki, for, for Fuyuka and Seinosuke. Then it went back down for Fuyuka and Seinosuke. Seinosuke went back up, and now Tsubaki and Seinosuke came back down. So that's 5 times if you include the one trip where no one was in it when Fuyuka and Seinosuke call it up. And that's not even mentioning the 2 times the killer would have to use it. So it's been like used like 7 times. It's actually a miracle the elevator hasn't broken down.
An accident would be a late death for you. I know, Wildcat, but these things happen. Wait, where's everybody else? We need everyone to investigate. Majority of them didn't want to see the corpses, you know.
I don't blame them. Okay, well, here's the problem. We're all going to die in a couple hours if we don't figure out what the hell happened. So, not to be rude, but we kind of need people down here. What? We have the ash room. We have the ash room, storage, main room, and ash room. That is 4 rooms, and sorry, ash room, storage, the main room, and the library. That is 4 rooms, and we have what? Hikari, Ryu, Kolette, Ryu, Kolette, Seinosuke, Tsubaki. There's 5 people for 4 rooms. So at worst, at best, we can only do 1 duo and 3 solos if we want to get through all the rooms immediately. So people could destroy evidence. Like, I know why people don't want to see the body. I'm not crazy, but I mean, like, snaps, chop, chop, people. We need to get things efficiently done. Most of the evidence is going to be around the body. So if you don't investigate bodies, the majority of people aren't going to be helpful for the investigation. Then again, there's only 10 people, so half the people are here. So maybe I'm being kind of crazy. We do need people to check the upper floors. I guess some people just have to investigate by themselves, and we can do the best we can.
It's still ridiculous. Without everyone investigating, we're going to. No, never mind. It's fine. I'm more than capable on my own. I promise I won't lead like that anymore.
I'll be willing to help as much as I can, Fuyuka. Better for some random to investigate the bodies, rather than anybody who cared about them.
I will too. I can't let myself be fooled again. I will find out who did this. Wildcat, Tsunami, and I are ready to do some corpse watching.
Actually, wait. Oh no, there's 6 of us here, so a majority of the people are here. If we split up into 3 duos, we can do the storage room, ash room, and library independently, and then we can all check it. Oh no, this is fine. The other 4 people. Who are the other 4 people? It's Chiyuki, Toshi, Mawin, and Kazuyuki. Yeah, and those 4 can work together on top floors, which has less evidence. Yeah. This works out. I was being stupid before. You know, I didn't expect anything to happen with such a useless motive, but here we are. Unlucky for me, huh?
Unlucky for all of us, Tsunami. Especially now that our resident flower defender and detective are goners.
Maybe it's better with the former gone. Prevents some of that useless arguing you all hate so much.
Please stop talking about the dead like that. Let's move on. While we're doing our investigation, Jerry's been tasked with getting some accounts from the people who aren't investigating.
What do you mean they aren't investigating? There's a whole other floor to investigate. They better be investigating the top floor. Or I'm going to have some words with them.
Right. So there's only 6 of us to investigate this time? Half the people, but twice the victims.
Like I said, they can investigate the floor 1. Like, come on now, there's other rooms.
I can't be so useless. I have to do this.
Kolette, Tsubaki, with me. Hikari, I will trust you to lead the other 2. We'll check Ikki's body first, so that at least, oh, you're taking Tsubaki. Well, Ryusuke and Seinosuke love you. Ryusuke, you actually have been growing on me quite a lot over the past 2 episodes. And this chapter, so I hope you grow on me more in this investigation.
I'll try my best. I have to do this. I have to do this.
Oh, you don't want me. But I'm stoked for the first ever meeting of our new corpse watching club. We can have our first meeting later. No need to despair, Marshall. Fine, fine. I'll look forward to it, Wildcat.
Kolette, Fuyuka, and Tsubaki left to investigate Ikki's body. Stacy aside. Are you all right? It's fair to see you upset.
When it's time, you two can investigate Gahara's body alone. Huh? But we need all the help we can. Needs Bryson come in? No. That's final. Okay.
I can understand why you want to look at Ikki's body. If I wasn't some stranger, I wouldn't want to look either. But we need to do this. I can't hesitate. I can't be weak. I can't. Let's start.
Okay, so immediately I am definitely more suspicious of the people who are actually investigating it down here. Mostly because I feel like if you were a killer, you'd want to be involved with the investigation just to see where people are thinking. Maybe destroy some evidence, that'd be risky, but if you were the killer, I feel like you'd want to be down in an investigation just to hear what all the what theories are coming up and try to like dispel any theories toward the correct order of events. Just trying to make the investigation disorderly. So I'm definitely more suspicious of the 6 people who are investigating, and those are Kolette, Fuyuka, Ryusuke, Hikari, Seinosuke, and Tsubaki. I've already said how I don't think it's Hikari, Ryusuke, or Fuyuka. And I really don't think it's Seinosuke. I doubt it is. It's just my gut feeling. I just don't think it is. And for similar reason, I also said I didn't think it would be Tsubaki. So out of the 6 who are investigation, it once again comes back to Kolette. So Kolette is immediately at the top of my suspicion list at the very beginning of this investigation. With the 4 people who aren't investigation, Chuki, Mawin, Toshi, and Kazuyuki. Out of those 4, well, I feel like if Chuki or Toshi commissioned a murder, I could see them not doing the investigation either, so that doesn't really mean anything. But I don't think it's Chuki. I could see it being Toshi because he had to go look for Asuka, but I need to see his statement before I decide if I think he's suspicious or not. I feel like though if Mawin or Kazuyuki were the culprit, they'd definitely come down to investigate. So them not bothering coming down just makes me think they're more likely to be innocent. Also, I was just thinking some more while we were going through the dialogue. Asuka's hand are bruised and Ikki's dead. And I think Ikki got speared in the stomach. So what I think might have happened is that, because of the witness rule, Asuka calls Ikki to the storage room. Asuka kills Ikki with the spear. The culprit walks in, and then Asuka and the culprit get into a fight. And then the culprit takes out a knife and stabs Asuka in the throat, or slits Asuka's throat. Leaves the knife in Asuka's hand. What does scare me a bit, though, is that it was a knife that killed Asuka. And what I'm afraid about is Ryusuke took a knife from the kitchen and gave that knife to us. Did we still have the knife in our room, or did... I was wondering, I actually just realized, I know we had a knife in our TV stand, but is that knife still there, or do we have it on us? Because I was just realizing maybe Mao or Kolette took it from our room, and they noticed it, and they took it from our room at one point. When they came in and we discussed Colette's folder. What I was going to say originally was that if Ryusuke went back to the kitchen and got another knife to have for self-defense, if he walked into Asuka killing Ikki, then he could have used it for said self-defense, and then killed Asuka in a moment, then left, went up to his room, and waited for Hikari to come. That is a fear I have, but I'm just putting it out there just so in case it is true that at least I said it out loud. And it is a little weird that we switched bows with Ryu. I want to say it's just an innocent thing he did, but it is just kind of strange. Like, what's the point of having that in the game if it's not going to be relevant at any point? Like, why did Ryu switch balls with us? Why is that important? And Ryu said he got a stomachache or something, so we didn't finish it, but I guess it's just a little odd. Maybe he needed something to comfort himself before going into a trial where he knew he'd die. I don't know. But anyway, what's the point in theorizing when we haven't even done the investigation? Let's actually get into it. Asuka's body.
I kneel down next to the body. Just a stranger. Just a stranger. It's just a stranger.
Anything stand out to you about the body?
I'll see. My first glance at what was most obvious. The wound. Their throat was slit, it looks like. That's terrible. How could this happen? Who would do this?
Dunno. Asuka would put up a fight. The neck is an area that's hard to take a stab at, so it's a bit odd.
It's like last time, too. A wound to the neck.
Is that what killed him? And I did bring her up that Asuka's body discovery looked very similar to Daisuke's.
Wait, there's something else. I shaded Asuka's hair and jacket a bit, showing more the back of the neck. There's a mark here, a deep one. Yeah, it's like a bruise. Why is her neck bruised too? Why would the killer cause so many wounds?
Doesn't make much sense to bruise their neck and slit their throat. Unless our culprit wouldn't have some fun using the body as an artwork. I hope they teach me.
I was about to shake off Seinosuke's statement and resume, but...
Oh.
You're sick.
What was so weird about what I said?
Stop talking about people like this. Stop treating them as jokes.
But that's the fun of...
Be quiet. I don't care what's fun for you. Stop treating people like they're dummies to make fun of. Stop. Ikki would break this up before it escalates. It's not the time for this. Please. Focus on investigation for now. But... Hikari, we can't keep letting him...
I agree that we can't keep letting him making those jokes. However, we are kind of on a time limit, so... Just punch him in the face and then let and continue investigation.
Ryu, it's his own way of dealing with everything, okay? And Seinosuke, limit those jokes in front of Ryu.
Fine.
Ryu, make a joke about Ikki's body it's just shout so Seinosuke can hear it and see how he reacts to that.
The two of them looked away from each other. Neither was paying attention to the body. It's better to handle this alone. I'd only have myself to blame for my mistakes then. Asuka's throat was slit, but they also have strange marks on the back of their neck. The marks look like bruises of some kind. The neck is a hard place to hit for a killing blow, so combined with the fact that they would have fought back, it's possible the culprit knocked them down before their throat was slit. That would explain the bruises on the back of the neck too.
You have obtained the evidence, Asuka's neck. Check the evidence menu if you wish to review the clue. And now that I have the sound effects turned to 0, I'm not going to get jump scared by any... Let's check the evidence. Asuka's neck. Asuka's throat was slit and the back of their neck has deep purple bruises. The neck is a difficult place to hit, so it's possible that Asuka might have fought back and something else interfered. Interfered. Is that how it's spelled interfered? Huh, didn't know that. So, presumably they were just hit in the back of the neck, and after being knocked unconscious, their throat was slit. But that doesn't really follow with their knuckles.
I took another look at Asuka's body. The next most obvious thing was a bloody knife in their hand. This might be the murder weapon, right? something sharp would have slit their throat. So this might be it. But why is it in their hand? Wouldn't the killer have hidden it away or dropped it somewhere random instead? Is it possible that... No! I won't even think of that. Daisuke already tried something like that because of me. If Asuka did that too, then... Shut up, brain! Investigate, goddammit! Stop caring so much!
You've obtained the evidence bloody knife. Check the evidence menu if you wish to review the clue.
I took a look at Asuka's other hand, drooping over their body. Huh? Another wound. Some kind of bruise on their knuckles. When I checked the hand with the knife again, I noticed the same kind of bruising in the same place. Would they have punched something? The culprit, maybe? Or a wall? But if they punched someone, wouldn't that person have an obvious bruise? Or be in pain? It might be more likely that Asuka punched a wall or an object. And if that's what happened, it might not even be related to the case. It's completely possible that it just punched something out of frustration. Still, I should remember this, just in case.
You have obtained the evidence, bruised knuckles. Check the evidence menu if you wish to review the clue. That's all to
investigate right now. I know I shouldn't care, but I'm so sorry, Asuka. I'm sorry I didn't give you more of a chance. You deserved better than being suspected as a traitor. Better than being isolated from the group and then killed. Why does this keep happening? And I'm some sort of bad luck. Is it my fault again? I need to continue investigation.
So yeah, that doesn't really change anything what I've seen so far, except the bruise on the back and neck. That kind of complicates things, because if they got into a fight, how would they hit him in the back of the neck? Because presumably I just thought they got him by surprise, but there's clearly some sort of fight going around that went on in here, the mess in the room. That could have been because of Ikki's murder, so we can't say anything for certain, but what the evidence shows that gets hit in the back of the neck, slit in the throat, but then the bruises on the knuckles implies he got into a fight or maybe punched something. Okay, near Asuka's body.
There's something on the ground. Kneeling down, I try to get a closer look at it. Bundle of orange hair.
Is that what that is? Huh.
It looks exactly like... Is he... Did he kill them? Did he... No. I can't overreact. If he finds out I saw this, who knows what he'd do. I need to keep the evidence, but... While Sainisuke was distracted by the body, I tapped Ryu's shoulder. We're doing some espionage shit now, Ryu. Come here.
Huh? What's up?
Shisha! I covered his mouth and pointed at the orange hair. Can you get a small bag or something from a nearby room? Ryu nodded off before sprinting off.
Oh, hey! Where's he going? Did he suddenly get afraid something would possess the corpse and make it come to life?
Oh, he's gonna check the ice room real quick for any evidence.
Don't know what he'd find there, but ice.
Hey, Sainisuke, what were you up to last night?
Not killing anybody, that's for sure. Last night? Oh, am I a suspect? Oh my god, after the whole first trailer being accused, I'm, by the recorder here, I'm finally getting the spotlight. Oh my god, okay, let me get my makeup on. Oh, okay, it's me anything.
Kolette mentioned that now and get the alibis of those who didn't want to come up here to investigate. So, I might as well get the alibis of those up here, right?
Oh, you're becoming a good old prosecutor now. Oh, hopefully you don't get settled with some unnecessary feelings.
Right, even I get that reference in escape, please.
Anyway, Kazu and I were hanging out for most of the night. Probably until around 8:30. I don't know when Asuka here would, quote, if you get my gist, frog cat. But it might have been when I was with him.
Why were you with Kazuyuki? And more importantly, why did he not run away from you the moment you wanted to spend time around him?
Unluckily for him, I was second on his list. You know, the making things for people list. He said, and I quote,
I might as well get this over with.
Oh, that was pretty good.
oh, thank you. But not to worry. I managed to torture him brilliantly during our time together.
I guess I'm to blame there. but what about after that?
Let me think. I went back to my room pretty soon after, but I did hear some bizarre stuff while I was in the hall.
Bizarre stuff?
Two voices trying to whisper. My gasp, gasp. Some discussion about some things that I'd like to have been invited to. The talk of bloodshed, knives, fight and fighting. I'm sad to say I missed out.
You have to be messing with me.
No, as much as I'd like to claim otherwise, they shunned me for whatever awesome war they were planning.
Did you manage to find out he was talking?
Nope. Like I said, they tried to whisper. It's kind of hard to tell the difference between a serene voice of heaven or a raspy old man when it's all inaudible.
You're really something sometimes.
Thank you. If you'd like me to overwhelm and confuse you again, just ask. My gifts require no charge.
You have obtained the evidence in its presence. Check the evidence menu if you wish to review the clue. Well, this pretty much automatically clears Sasuke in my eyes, because no way they're going to make the killer that obvious to be like, oh my god, the orange hair! Sasuke!
Sasuke wanted to check another part of the room. He didn't seem to be lying. But if he isn't, why is some of his hair here? Nobody else has that shade of orange hair.
Wait, hear me out. Mauen said that she dyed her hair, so what if it's Mauen's hair? Ooh, does Mauen have natural ginger hair? Because I remember when we were talking to Kolette and Mauen said something about not being a hypocrite about dyeing your hair. So we know that. I'm not sure if it was actually said if Kolette dyes hair, but I know that Mauen and Kolette both dye their hair. I'm not sure why their natural hair color would come here though. But that'd be interesting if their natural hair color was ginger. Ooh.
So I stood there. He returned and whispered to me.
Hikari, I found a small plastic bag.
Thank you. I scooped up a bundle of hair, placed it in the bag, and offered it to Ryu.
You want me to?
Yes. He might already know I'm suspecting him a bit, so...
I'm not really sure why it's relevant because we already have the evidence, so even if he is aware you're suspecting him, what is he gonna do? And even if he does steal the evidence, both of you saw it, so you can corroborate each other's testimonies about the evidence existing, so it doesn't really matter, but like, yeah, Ryu keep it, why not?
Right, I understand.
Ryu hid the small bag in his clothes. I should get back to investigation.
Messing room.
Man, it's a mess around here. Too bad I missed the hurricane. I need my storm chaser dreams to be a reality. Oh, maybe I can get sucked in and be torn apart limb from limb. Wouldn't that be fun, Cherry Blossom?
You're right. It is a mess. Everything is knocked around.
Yup. Everything seems moved around. Not counting the knocked over flower vase. That's a corpse of its own. I'm so sad. Are you okay, Sunflower? Your poor flowery ally seems to be in shambles.
I guess one possible thing, if there was water in the flower vase, then I guess if it was knocked over, water could have gone into either Mauen or Colette's hair, and that could have turned it to its original color. I don't think dye is that weak, but I guess if we were trying to figure out why their natural hair color would be there, that's one possibility.
I wonder if there's a struggle here. Asuka would have fought back, so maybe that's why the room's messed up.
Damn! Looks like the rosebud has gotten caught in the middle of winter. But yeah, I agree. That's probably why it's messy around here. Could be good to keep it in mind for the trial, you know.
Yeah.
You have obtained the evidence, messy room. Check the evidence menu if you wish to review the clue. Storage room door.
Hey, Hikari. Yeah? Did you find something?
I did. It's really strange.
When we have killer robots and deadly poetry sessions, we should consider anything here normal.
Right. I meant that it's just an ordinary clue, and I could really not deal with the sass right now, please. It might not even be related to the murder. If it isn't related, then I'm going to look so dumb. I probably shouldn't even brought it up.
Well, anything is useful, Ryu, and don't worry, if it is stupid, I'll be sure to say it to your face.
I promise, Ryu. Anything you find is going to be useful, even if it's only something that can rule out other possibilities.
If you're sure, then...
Ryu handed me a scrap of paper. It was a fragment of a longer piece of writing. Some of the words had faded with time, but with each and every rainstorm, each lightning, and crash of the sunlight you radiate will make any day iridescent.
That was definitely one of the poems we read, wasn't it? I remember the word iridescent. I don't know where. It could have been from the original poetry session. I might go back and see if it was one of the ones I first saw. I feel like it was one of the older ones. I can't remember which one. I don't think it was Tsubaki's. It might have been one of Ikki's poems, honestly. Or was it Saint? No. It was that Ikki's poem?
It's
That's what I thought too. But then I remember that you and some others had poetry sessions. So I thought it might be something accidentally dropped by one of us, rather than a real clue. I am useless.
No!
Huh?
Ryu, this poem is worn down. The paper is incredibly crumbled, and some words aren't even legible anymore. This poem is old.
So it is a clue.
I'm not sure yet, but it's definitely something to note. We shouldn't write it off.
You have obtained the evidence, strange poem. Check the evidence menu if you wish to review a clue. Well, if it's old, then is it one of the original ones? Huh.
I'm glad. After last time, I want to help catch the killer. I'm not going to be used again. I'm not going to be taken advantage of again.
That's a good way to think. I'm proud of you.
Once this resolves, I want us to go back to what we were doing. Even if it's hard to trust anybody, even if I'm scared, I still want to enjoy your...
I couldn't help but embrace Ryu. I couldn't help but embrace Ryu. I don't know why. I shouldn't be caring about it. I shouldn't be crying into his shoulder. I shouldn't be any of this.
Are your teeth red? What is it with your teeth? Oh, that's Hikari's hair color. Oh. Is that his teeth up here, but they're like transparent, but because they're transparent, they look like they're Hikari's head color. That's interesting. Or maybe there's just no teeth there, and that's like Hikari's pin. I don't know. I'm overthinking his teeth color too much.
Yes. I want to go back to that too. I want to forget everything and watch movies. I want to talk and laugh and have fun. That shall never happen again, though. I'd be a fool if I let myself get wrapped up in impossibilities. I shouldn't mourn what never was. Push myself from you and with my tears. Hikari, are you okay? I'm fine. Let's keep investigation.
You shouldn't lie.
Please, let's just keep investigation.
Right.
I searched the room for a few more minutes, but there was none else I could see. I think that's all there is.
I'm sorry for not being able to find anything else.
Well, before I start the trial, I'm going to look over previous episodes to see if I can find what poem that was from, because that sounds familiar. I guess just to be on the safe side, I should check if it's any of these poems. I don't think it is. No. And no, that's a clock. I feel like it was definitely one from the poetry meetings we had in this chapter, though. It sounds like... I think we had in the first one we saw Tsubaki's and Seinosuke's poems. Then we saw Tsubaki's, then Seinosuke's, then Ikki's. But we saw Ikki's recently, and the word iridescent sounds. Maybe I'm just delusional and we didn't see it, but that sounds so familiar.
Nah, nothing to be sorry for. There's still plenty of stuff in other locations, right? I guess so.
I'm going to find Fuyuka and look at Ikki's body. There's probably more clues in the storage room.
Wait, I'll come with. I don't want to be left alone with.
Ryu gestures to Seinosuke.
Ouch! You could have at least whispered that, you know. As evidence showed, I am unable to understand whispers. You do know how to sting like a bee.
Okay. Since you said you don't want to investigate Ikki's body, what are you planning to do in the meantime?
I guess I'll try to get the others up here. They deserve to at least say goodbye, you know. Gahara would want that, at least.
Don't you want to say goodbye to Ikki?
See ya! Bye-bye!
Seinosuke ran to the elevator. Fine! Let's go!
Now only 5 people are investigating this floor. Fantastic.
Ryu and I headed to the storage room. Once we entered, we asked for permission to investigate Ikki's body. Fuyuka claimed that she was finished investigating the body, so it was fine. And then we began.
Ikki's body. Oh, there was some broken shards on the floor I only saw for a second there. Okay.
Last time, you stood with me above the body of a friend. Last time, you investigated with me. But this time, you're the body. Why does this have to happen, Ikki? Why you? Why somebody who actually has a purpose here? I only see one wound. What looks like a large hole in their stomach.
Was it a stab wound?
It might be, but it can't be from a knife. It's a bigger wound, and much too deep. What's wrong?
His back. There's another wound in the same area, well, on the back.
A wound in the same area? Somebody stabbed Ikki twice. Once in the front and once in the back. Other wound went deep enough to go through his entire body.
I'm glad she did at the very least. I would have been very confused if she just said once in the front and once in the back. I'm pretty sure it was a spear that impaled him, though.
That's terrifying. Somebody be so ruthless to stab Ikki like that.
Can we look at something else? I'd rather not think about how they were killed.
Yeah, let's do that.
You obtain the evidence. Ikki's room. Check the evidence you wish to review. Near Ikki's. Look, where is it? Yeah, this is what I was looking at. Actually, it looks more like paper now that I actually had a good look at it. But there's no blood anywhere else in the room, so clearly he just got stabbed there. But then why was there blood in front of the storage room door? Huh. Interesting. Near Ikki's body.
This.
Huh? That's just blood.
Look close. It's not just a random blood splatter. It looks like a 7 or maybe an L. And look at Ikki's index finger. The tip of their finger is specifically covered in blood. They must have written this.
So they must not have died instantly. That's terrible. To be in so much pain and to use your last moment for that.
If Ikki didn't write this, we should keep this in mind. He must have left this for us.
The thing is, I thought it was an L, but the fact that Hikari pointed out immediately is making me think, oh, maybe it's not an L. Because his index finger is there, he must have specifically wrote it that way. If it is an L, he specifically made it upside down, which I'm not sure why he would do that. But then what is it? 7. Okay.
But what does it mean? I can't think of anything. Were they trying to write somebody's name? And if it's a number, I have even less of an idea as to what it is.
I'm sorry, but I don't know either, Ryo.
You have obtained the evidence dying message. Check the evidence menu if you wish to review the clue.
In any case, I took a look at Ikki's closed eyes. I'm thankful I didn't have to look into them. He didn't deserve this. Okay, we need to think later and continue investigation.
Okay. I'll do my best.
Storage room floor. Yeah, it is paper. Oh, that's interesting. Is that another poem then? Or is the other half of the poem?
Yellow shreds of paper? There's some bits of paper. Or at least, I'm pretty sure it's paper. It's not fabric at least. But not even the atom is yellow paper. So I'm confused as to why there would be some random scraps here.
How are you so sure of that?
Whoa! I checked out the art room a few times on my own. I don't talk about it often, but I am an artist. I wanted to try and make some sort of collage with some of the art room supplies to distract me from everything. That, well, it didn't work out.
Well, that was a little bit of a suspicious response, like that. Oh, right. That's a little side eye. Like, Ryu, are you okay? But I'm gonna not think about it.
I see. So, these bits of paper must have come from somewhere else. Can you see any writing on them?
Nothing, I'm afraid.
You have obtained the evidence to yellow scraps. Check the evidence menu if you wish to review the clue. Was the notepad Ikki scribbling on, was that yellow paper? We didn't get to see it. It was never really pointed out, but that's the only thing I can think of right now.
But you can double check. I'm probably not the best for...
What? Is there writing on not read? You don't have to have a good eye for detail to tell me that.
Your experience with art and details like that. I would be the one to miss something small in these papers, Ryu.
That's not right. You've been amazing at investigating so far, and
you've brought up things I wouldn't have noticed. You're useful too.
I mean, you can just investigate it as well, just for safekeeping. It's not a big deal.
Let's agree to disagree.
Right. Nothing else stood out about Ikki's body. Eventually, I turned my attention to the others in the room.
Didn't you say there was supposed to be 12 bottles of poison here? There's only 11.
Oh, I was thinking about if the poison would be used. I wish I said it. And we did switch plates with Ryu and myself, so if one of the bowls were poisoned, then, trust me, there would be 12 there on a normal day.
I didn't expect you to memorize each room here, Tsubaki.
It wasn't that hard. When you see the same rooms over and over and over and over, it's pretty easy to remember stuff about them.
What are you guys doing?
We're figuring out what items might be missing. I checked this morning. At that time, only one knife was gone. That knife vanished a few days ago. And now, I cannot locate several other weapons.
Well, at least I know where that first recent knife is.
Yep, some rope, a bottle of poison, and a knife are gone too. No what a mortal would have used those besides, well, murder.
Okay, so there was a rope. I'm not sure what the rope was used for, so we don't have anything about that. Maybe Ryu took the bottle of poison to try and poison me. The knife is what's in Asuka's hand, and it was probably used what was used to kill them, slit their throat. Okay, I'm not sure what the rope was for. Maybe there's something we're missing. I was thinking maybe it could be used to choke someone out, but I'm not sure if there's any wounds on either of the bodies that would imply that. Okay.
I see.
You obtained the evidence missing items. Check the evidence menu if you wish to review the clue.
If only I'd had the chance to check this room earlier. I could have caught the killer in the act of taking the items. But Asuka caused the idea not to come to fruition.
Because Asuka was looking for you, right?
Talking about.
A few hours ago, Asuka discussed something with me. Something about a meeting. They asked me to search for them if they went missing. While we were discussing it, I completely forgot to inspect this room. A fool's mistake on my part, I admit. That sounds like... They must have known they were going to be killed. How? Don't ask me. They refused to elaborate any further, unfortunately. But still, it is something to keep in mind.
Okay. Well, initially your first idea would be that whoever had Asuka's folder would come to them, and Asuka was worried something would happen to them if they went. So they asked Fuyuka, but Fuyuka was the person who had Asuka's folder. So why would they be worried about someone else talking to them? Toshi went to look for them, but that wasn't planned, so Asuka wouldn't have foreseen that coming. Okay. You obtained the evidence, Fuyuka's account. Check the evidence menu if you wish to review the clue.
Hey, Fuyuka. Are we done here? I can't find anything else that stands out. And I want to check on Minty and Cherry downstairs, if I can.
Yep. Can't find anything else either. Can I go check out other places?
Go ahead. We're finished up here, and there's somewhere else I need to check.
I would like to check the library and the art room just because of their proximity to the book crime scenes. I just feel like there's a chance that the killer panicked and there's true evidence somewhere, or probably in one of those rooms. So I would like to check those rooms as well.
If you want, I can try to help, even if I'm not the most useful.
And I can help too. Maybe Hikari and I could be useful if we do it together.
I appreciate that.
It doesn't matter at the moment.
As Fuyuka stormed past me, she whispered to me. A shiver went down my spine.
Don't trust him.
Don't trust who? Who is she talking about? Who am I not meant to trust?
The only man in this room? Everyone else here is a woman? like Kolette, she, her, Tsubaki, she, her, Hikari, Tsubaki, she, they, Hikari, she, her, Fuyuka, she, her, Ryu, him, Ryu.
Please, for you. Turn around and ask her what she meant. She laughed.
I will say there is some weird things going on with Ryu right now, so I do understand why Fuyuka is suspicious with her. I don't think he committed the murders, but I do think he was planning something weird.
Why the hell is she always so mysterious and vague? Having to go to random places for no reason? That trope is way overdone.
Who knows what's going through her head?
Perhaps one day I may restore my full powers. Then I can gain the ability to access the inner depths of her mind.
Good luck with that, kitty cat.
Tsubaki and Kolette left me to my own thoughts. I would have, except Ryu was still with me.
Did she say something to you, Hikari? I thought I heard her, whisper. Oh, but you don't have to tell me. I was probably hearing things.
Is he the one Fuyuka's talking about? No. That can't be it. He has an alibi with me. Ryu, what were you doing before I visited you a few hours ago?
We don't know when Asuka died, so we don't even know if Ryu does have an alibi, if we're being completely objective.
I was, in the kitchen for a bit, making the soup and grabbing some snacks. But besides that, and going to your room to slide my note under your door, I didn't leave my room today. Why?
Did you hear anything odd? See anything odd?
I don't think so. So sorry.
He isn't acting any different from normal. What is normal for him? What is this entire time? He's been staying close to me, so I'll trust him. So I can vouch for him. What if?
I understand if you're suspicious of me. It is true that I don't have an alibi for before you came to my room. It's good that you are willing to be wary and cautious.
God. Yeah.
You obtain the evidence of Ryu's account. Check the evidence menu if you conclude. I am really enjoying the attention that Fuyuka has given me. I was a little bit suspicious of Ryu, and I'm glad that that Ryu was the one person to carry trust, and Fuyuka instilled that doubt back into her about him.
He knew what I was thinking. He's as scared as I am, even if I'm a bit better at hiding it. Let's go and see if Stenisky managed to bring the others here. Even though my heart was still beating hard, and my body was shaking, I continued on. I need to focus on the murders. I can't focus on my own thoughts right now. I can't be so weak. There was a conversation going on in the main room.
Oh, I accidentally skipped him text, and now Mountain has a very scary face. Oh, transcript.
I'm not telling them shit. If you think I'm gonna risk that, you can fuck off. And if you fucking dare utter a word, you're not gonna like it when I'm actually pissed.
They're going to find out eventually, Cherry.
Shut the hell up before I smack the hell out of you. I'm not gonna be... shortcake. Great. Hey.
What were you talking about?
It's none of your fucking business. Come on, gremlin.
Yeah. Guess it's nothing. You two should check out the library. A few of the marshals are investigating there. And it'd be good to get their accounts of the evening.
Before we can press him any further, Kolette and Mound have retreated to the elevator.
I am very scared this elevator is going to break down any second.
Just as Mound pressed the button, it opened to reveal a single, solemn person.
Yeah, Toshi.
Toshi exited the elevator, while the other two entered. As Toshi exited the elevator, Mound sprinted to the furthest corner of it, with Kolette trailing behind. But as the elevator doors were about to close, their backs turned to us. Kolette turned her head slightly. I followed her case hand. I noticed a few small cuts on the back of Mound's arms. They were barely noticeable, but still present.
Toshi, I thought you wouldn't come up here.
Toshi suddenly kneeled down next to Asuka's body. He didn't acknowledge us at all. Toshi? Toshi stayed silent.
Would it be best to leave him alone?
It would have been hilarious if while the elevator doors closed, Hikari was like,
Wait a minute!
and just ran towards the elevator, but it closed before she got in, and then it got up, and Hikari, exasperationally just kept pressing the elevator button, and then that's when it broke down and they couldn't go to the top floor, and she was like,
Screw her! time I was trying to get her for a reason. This is exactly why I did everything. Okay, everything's fine. Gotta go to the library. Forget Toshi. The library.
Would it be best to leave him alone?
I can handle this. Go to the library and see who's there. Tell me what they say.
Okay.
Ryu didn't seem to have much left to say. He did as I said.
Well, from this angle, it looks like Hikari's about to kill Toshi, so I don't know. I don't know if like this. Oh, this is nice music. Asuka's dead. Yeah. He's dead. Time to get happy, Toshi.
I stood behind Toshi, stared down at him, at the stranger's body in front of him. Toshi, how are you doing? You need to get up.
Even if I wanted to, I can't.
Why not?
Hey, what is delusional? Is Toshi missing glasses? I noticed this before in the CG with Dia and Asuka. Asuka was also missing a glass. Yeah, Toshi was meant to have glasses. I'm not sure if it's just a mistake that they're not drawn in, or if Toshi lost them somehow. Because Asuka and I are busy talking, of course. I mean, I don't wear my glasses on. This looks like he's alive. They're alive.
Toshi?
Don't be concerned for me, Hikari. Nothing bad could happen to us. We're warriors. Asuka's a little tired out from everything, but it's okay. And they'll be as bright and brave as ever in no time. None of my warriors could fall so easily. And even if they did, nothing's impossible with the power of friendship.
Oh God, the power of friendship, really? In this place? That's what you're gonna tell me?
Why are you looking at me like that? I'm always right, Hikari. Are you disrespecting your general? I mean, to be fair, the only person so far who's told him that he's not always right is the first killer. So, so that being the person to tell him that probably instilled his beliefs more. So, I guess that's true.
Yeah. After we talked in the infirmary, what happened? You said you wanted to meet up with Asuka.
No, I didn't. I went back to my room to get a good rest. What are you talking? Now you're just lying. So Toshi was the first person to find the body then. That's what I'm guessing. Toshi came down to the second floor. So that means Asuka was already dead by the time we were talking to him and Chuki. So if Asuka was already dead by then, because what I'm guessing is Toshi goes up to the second floor to look for Asuka, finds Asuka's dead body, leaves in a panic, goes back to his room. Then we do our stuff with Ryu. Then we find the body. The two of us call out the BDA. So Toshi was the first person to find the body, which also means he's not the culprit. Or at least he's not the person that killed Asuka. I mean, I guess he could be if he went up and came right down, but there'd be no reason for him to do that. So I'm saying that Toshi's not the culprit.
So you didn't go see Asuka?
Why would I? Asuka's right here. The way you keep losing focus will make training you as a perfect warrior hard. But I know you can do it.
Toshi, these happy spirits are kind of scaring me a little bit.
You obtain the evidence, Toshi's. Are we really taking that as evidence? I know I haven't been reading them because I'm planning to read them at the start of the next episode. But where's Toshi's? Oh my God, we've almost got all the evidence already. Jeez, this has been a quick investigation. Toshi is denying the fact that Asuka is dead. Apparently, after leaving the infirmary, he never met up with Asuka, despite claiming he would. So that is great evidence, Toshi.
He's deluded himself into thinking that Asuka is alive right now. Oh God, I can't stand to look at this. Go to the library. Toshi, let's go to the library. Asuka wants us to check out something there.
Of course. I can find some awesome history books to show them.
Yeah. I took Toshi's hand and led him to the library. Talking to Asuka's corpse isn't going to do him any good. Once we entered the library, I saw Ryu talking to Chiyuki and Kazuyuki. They were the only other people there. Toshi, go ahead and try to look for a good book while I talk to them, okay?
Okay.
As I approached the other three, Toshi skipped off to another part of the library.
What a waste of time. Does what I did matter? That is not his voice at all. I don't know why. I tried to do Toshi's again for some reason.
Yes, it does. We need to do everything we can to find out what happened to those two.
Do I look like I care? It was always going to happen to Asuka, and Ikki wasn't foolish enough to fall for somebody else's dream. Well, it doesn't matter if you care. We're going to die if we get it wrong. Unless you're a traitor, you're not going to die no matter what happens. But yes, you're going to die if we don't get it right. So even if you don't care, you kind of need to care about your own life a little bit. And I know a part of you cared about Ikki. I'm pretty sure about that, considering the time I've seen you spend a lot of time with Ikki more than anybody here. I feel like so. Ikki was close to the Sasuke, but though I do feel like your feelings about Asuka are true. I feel like you really like them. This has nothing to do with me.
They deserve grace and compassion despite their mistakes.
This is going to happen again and again to any and all of us. Chances are high that every person in this room will be dead in a few days. He thought differently, foolishly, and that is the one reason why he is gone. He couldn't accept the truth of our situation. He shouldn't have tried to get close to me in the first place. What a naive individual. Whatever. What does it matter if some of us die?
Because they matter. Their lives matter. We need to do all we can to avenge them. If you think otherwise, then...
So you suspect me as the culprit?
No, it's just...
Sasuke told me that you were hanging out with him most of the night. Is that true?
So he told you. Of course he did.
Oh, what you doing?
You wouldn't want to get me started with what that was like. Every time I cut a fabric, he would get in the way. Every time I tried to set up some sewing machine, he'd make a reference to sleeping forever. I wished he would do just that. Why wasn't it Sasuke, damn it? It should have been him, not Ikki. And every time I tried to sketch out my ideas, he would steal the scissors and threaten to cut up the paper. My sanity was at its absolute lowest point, though my voice would kind of imply that my sanity is really non-existent. It was absolute torture. With him around, trying to do anything is like avoiding landmines in a war zone. And you got me started. This is your fault.
Right. Yeah, got it. All my fault. Yeah. Everything's my fault. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You obtained the evidence, Kazuyuki's account. Check the evidence menu if you wish to review the clue. I wonder why I got a CG for that. I wonder if there was something I was meant to pay attention to, but I didn't even bother doing that. So if there was something I was meant to pay attention to, guess we're all gonna die. Is that all? I don't want to waste my time any longer investigating some case I have no interest in.
In this room together. Now that that group's investigator has passed, we are in a dire situation. We must not split apart now.
If a bunch of troublesome misfits keeps trying to bother me, it isn't worth investigation. I hardly care about the end result anyway. I'll be conducting a minor investigation elsewhere. Then I will be taking my leave. Don't bother me. A minor investigation? Well, it's not really a thing as a major or minor investigation here, unless your so-and-so minor investigation is unrelated to the major investigation that being the murder right now. But if your minor investigation is related to the murder, is that minor at all? Kazuyuki, where you going? Tell me.
Yuki left.
I hate his guts. Oh, well, I'm glad someone said it.
So, sorry if that's not what you'd rather not hear, but it's true.
Please don't say that. I'm sure
You know what? I actually like Ryu a lot in this group just because he's fine with saying he does not like people. He does not like everyone here. It's way more realistic. Other than Hikari and Shuki, who want everyone to like them. Well, Shuki wants everyone to like her and have everyone like each other. She wants everyone to like each other. She wants everyone to be best friends. Hikari, I feel like she wanted that. Now she kind of wants. She's kind of deluding herself into thinking that everyone is a stranger. And I'm just realizing the hypocrisy of her calling out of Toshi deluding herself. But that's a conversation for another day. But like Ryu's like, I hate that guy. Yeah. I'm definitely going to have to do some of his 3 time events if we get through this chapter.
He was a kind individual. Without his enlightened presence, everything will be much more difficult to handle. They brought much more light upon our group. Beyond that, Ikki is also incredibly intelligent. Their intellect helped us incredibly well in the last trial. Without Ikki, Kazuki may be stressed. For both reasons, Ikki's presence was a gift upon us all.
I don't care if he has his reasons. She should care more. He shouldn't act like we're a bunch of strangers to him. Ooh.
How ironic. Let's focus on that later. Shuki, did anything happen to you last night? After I left? Hikari. I'm sorry for earlier, Shuki, but let's put that behind us right now, okay? For now, until after this trial is over. Of course. After we had met up in the infirmary with Toshi last night, I stayed there for a while to ponder some things.
Ooh, Asuka. What? Asuka came in. Okay, now this is very strange. Toshi. Okay, now. Oh God, this actually changes everything. Okay, that's not terrifying at all. Okay.
After I exited, I noticed Asuka down the hall, coming from Toshi's room. I am not certain of what happened, but I believe there may have been an argument between them. Judging by Asuka's expression, it almost looked as if Asuka was going to cry. Asuka may have been a flawed individual, but I hoped they would make up with Toshi. That hope was squandered, as you can see. But Toshi said that they never met up with Asuka.
Do you really think his testimony is reliable in any sense of the word? It is not. His word is not to be trusted at all, considering his mental state.
That's they're definitely not good.
Right. When was this? I cannot be completely certain. When I had arrived back to my room, it was around 9, I believe.
So we have an alibi with Ryu. Oh, Ryu, you're not the murderer. I am so glad you are going to make it to chapter 3, probably. Unless you somehow set up a machine to kill Ikki and Asuka from another floor. But Ryu asked us to meet at around 7 or 8, so I'm assuming we were with him by 9 o'clock. You obtained the evidence Shuki's account. Check the evidence menu if you wish to review the clue.
What does this all mean? Based on what Fuyuka and Shuki's accounts, something definitely happened to them, but how does Ikki fit into all this?
I am very scared that Asuka did just try and kill Ikki. That is the biggest fear.
Is there anything else, Shuki? Besides that, I have not made any formidable discoveries here. Though, there is one detail Kazuki and I noticed that seemed quite odd.
Shuki points to nearby bookshelves. Oh, what's this?
Kazuyuki noticed that the bookshelves have miscellaneous scratches on them. Max, I did not bear before.
I wonder if that's where Mauen got the scratches on her arms. That's the first thing I was thinking of.
He similarly mentioned something about the elevators, but I cannot recall them now.
Well, it would be nice if you could remember what Kazuyuki mentioned probably like 20 minutes ago, but it's fine. We'll look at the elevator when we're coming, because we have to go on the elevator to get back to the. Actually, you know, it'd be funny. What if D is like, you have 10 minutes to get to the ballroom? Then all of us try and operate the elevator, and then it breaks down, and all of us are just sitting there waiting for the elevator to run. And if it doesn't run, we're just gonna die because of a broken down elevator.
Something about the elevator doors having ends in them, I believe. Was it the first or second floor, though? That's something difficult to notice. Still, we should remember that if anybody was going to notice small details, it'd be him. I took a look at the bookshelves. There were some scratches in them, and though I might be imagining it, it almost looked like there might be bloodstains in each scratch.
How is this relevant to the murder in any way? Oh god. This is so strange.
Before I could ask about anything else.
Oh, here we go. It's the end of the investigation. I knew we were getting low on how many pieces of evidence we could get. Okay, here we go.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all ready for another wonderful day of dread and death and doom and dreariness. Pretty sure I'm not missing any other precious old D words. In any case, investigation time is over. You know where to go now and what the punishment is if you don't.
It's time. We have to do this.
This time, I'm ready. I'm determined to find out who killed the both of them.
I wish you luck. I shall take my leave.
Well, we're going together, girl. Where are you going?
Without another word, Shiki walked up.
Well, I guess we're not going together then.
Let's get Toshi. He's still here. With his condition, I'm not sure if he'll consider any punishment.
Huh? What are you talking about?
When I talked to him, he thought Asuka was still alive.
He what?
I don't know why, but we have to be careful with him. There's likely a way for him to avoid acknowledging what's happening.
Yeah, he does the one who says Asuka's dead. That's obviously what's going on.
But we should leave him alone. He'll only hurt more the longer he doesn't face it. I know that for a fact.
Let's give it some time. I don't know what's best for him and whether it's giving the truth or letting him stay like this.
Fine.
Well, if we need his important testimony during the trial, he definitely needs to acknowledge that Asuka is dead, because if we need his testimony to figure out what happened to them, we do need his testimony.
Fine. I'll be waiting on the floor below. Please make sure he comes with you.
I do think it would be much more safe if we all went on the elevator together, because if that elevator breaks down, the pair of people who are just left behind just die, so fine.
I will. I nodded off to Ryu and ran off. Even so, it took some time to find Toshi. He was deep in the library. Toshi, I have something to tell you.
Oh, Hikari, I found a book that Asuka would look.
I'm sure they would love it, Toshi, but
But what?
Asuka's not going to be able to read it.
Why not?
They've gone through something you can't take back. You saw them lying there. They weren't rested.
Of course they were. It's not like they pretend to be asleep or something.
They did bad things, Toshi. They threatened people and started arguments. That might have caused this to happen to them.
I will say it's an interesting tactic to bring up all their faults to try and get Toshi to realize that they're dead, but hook, I guess.
He also stood up for others sometimes. And he encouraged them. Tried to get better.
Only villains lie, Hikari.
The words forced me back.
Only villains commit actions they can't take back. Only villains lie. Only villains do those terrible things. No matter how much Ichiro tries to stop them. I don't believe you or Asuka are villains. Hikari, and you?
What are you? Without another word, Toshi stalked past me and out of the library. What was he talking about? I need to get to the elevator to the trial room. Toshi might not be listening to me, but if he's going to the first floor, somebody else would force him into the trial. For long, I managed to get to the ballroom. Everyone was there, except Kazuki.
Well, at least if he doesn't make it, we won't be losing too much. I'm sorry.
Ah, no Kazu. If he's dying via punishment, I'd rather not miss out.
He did say he was going to investigate more on his own. I truly hope that is the answer for his absence, rather than anything worse.
Either way, time is running out. Goodbye and adios to him. Wait, a moment. I'm here. What happened to the elevator?
So the elevator did break down him. I'm glad that happened. Not that I'm glad he almost died. I'm glad it did break down, and my paranoia was proven to be correct. We all should have just taken the elevator at once.
Oh, fantastic. So you're the lucky one who got the broken down elevator. But I can inform y'all once again, the elevators are picky about how much they're used. It's pretty random, but use them too much and they'll explode in rage. Fun, right?
So if the elevator broke down for Mawen and she just punched out of a rage, and that was how the dent got in the door, maybe?
It's exactly like you and have faulty elevators too.
You retain the evidence faulty elevators. Check the evidence menu if you wish to review the clue.
But it looks like you're all here. Wonderful, wonderful. It's kind of early to have only 10 of you left. But who am I doing then?
Well, usually there would only be 11 of us left, so 10, 11, not really a big difference. And I will say, I haven't brought it up yet, but it's so weird to look at the top left, there's only 2 tallies. The one on the far right is gone, and it's like, oh god, that is weird. But that's what happens when there's a double murder, I guess, losing the first tally.
Before the trial begins, I have a question.
And another thing, I wonder assuming if it goes normal and there's no any more mutters, there'll be after this there'll be the chapter 2 killer, chapter 3 victim, chapter 3 killer, chapter 4 victim, chapter 4 killer die. That's 5 more. So if it goes like that, and chapter 5 is the last chapter where there's no deaths, we're going to lose a second tally as well, and there's only going to be the last tally left. That's going to be so weird when it gets only 1 tally. God.
Oh, is it about how I managed to be so stylish and pretty and handsome and all at once? Well, we all know how we did that, because you designed me because you gave me what? I could spend hours criticizing your design choices, but no.
Well, now I'm actually convinced that Kazuyuki is not the traitor, because if he was, I doubt he'd have the self-control to be able to diss his own design like that.
There are 2 bunnies. Does this mean there are 2 killers?
That is something that I've been trying to consider if there will be 2 killers. A part of me doesn't think there is, just because, well, actually, I do think there are 2 killers, but I don't think both killers are in the room right now. I think if there's 2 killers, Asuka killed Ikki, and then the killer in this room killed Asuka. I just don't see the... technically, Ikki killing Asuka is a possibility, but I don't think that's viable, really. Then again, Asuka told Fuyuka to look for them if they went missing, so that would imply that they thought they were going to die, which implies that someone else killed them. Because if Asuka was planning to kill someone, why ask Fuyuka to look for them? Well, I'll think about it more later. Like chapter 1, I'll have a theory for next episode. But I do think if there's 2 killers, either one of the 2 victims killed the other one, and then the real killer killed the one that is the first killer. Yeah, I don't think there's 2 killers in the room right now.
I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe there's not. That's a good question, damn it. Why do you have to be so fucking vague?
With a nation to vote only one soul as the culprit, it does make it difficult when there's the potential of 2 culprits.
Fine, fine. Answer one question. I won't tell you the deadly circumstances or amount of killers or whatever, but in the event of 2 killers, you only need to discover one and vote on one of them. I would only sentence one of them to execution.
Okay, further question. If, let's say, hypothetically, Asuka is one of the killers, if we vote for Asuka, does that mean the killer just gets off scot-free? Like, if one of the killers is already dead, we could vote for that killer, and that means no one would have to die, right?
So as long as we manage to divulge the identity of one of them, we shall be fine.
Oh, how boring! What if I want you to execute me? It's a 50-50 chance, then that can't happen.
You'll get your chance someday. But yes, if there are 2 killers, you only have to figure out one.
I guess that's kind of a positive compared to anything else.
Let's get this over with. I walked into the elevator first. I don't care if there was 1 killer, 2 killers, or no killer. Either way, the group's dwindling down one by one.
I don't really understand the logic how there's no killer, but go off, I guess.
Throughout these past few days, I've tried to convince myself I shouldn't care. But I do. I need to do what I can for those I did care about.
Good job of not dawdling.
You scared me.
You're growing. You're not hesitating as much, Hikari.
That's not true. I know it's stupid of me, but I want to care about them. I don't want to pretend that I don't. I know it's weak and reckless and irrational, but...
You'll learn in time, Hikari.
Well, that's not honest at all.
You can only rely on a few people. You're being irrational again. You can't rely on any of them to put your safety above their own.
Can I count on you to do that?
Of course you can. I've trusted you a lot, Hikari. You can trust me the same.
Well, that pause didn't really give much confidence, but I'll trust you. Fuyuka, I've trusted you since the beginning. I know you never do anything wrong.
You can do this with my help. I believe in you.
She's smiling. She trusts me. She believes in me. She... No. What was I thinking? Of course, I can rely on her. She's done nothing but help me these last few days. That was helping me, right?
Debatable.
Before long, the rest of us entered the elevator, and it began. Just like last time, we have to find a murderer in a group. But this time, it's possible this killer had two victims. Asuka, you defended me the last time this happened. Ikki, you helped me figure out who the culprit was. I hope you two are resting well, wherever you are. You deserve that at the very least. The elevator doors opened. As I walk to my podium, my mind feels like it's being torn apart. I desperately want to pretend, but I also want to face what's the truth. I want to trust everyone, but I'm also terrified of them. What's the right thing to do? What's the wrong thing to do? Who should I depend on? I can't answer any of those questions. I am a fool sometimes, aren't I? But I will continue to support others. I will continue to be by their side. That's all I'm good at anyway. And even if I am a fool, I would rather be a fool than anything else. Because this rule carried on for Daisuke. And now, I need to go on for two more. Let's do this.
Is that it? Ooh, okay, that is it. That is a very... It felt shorter than the previous investigation, which I don't mind. I did spend a lot of time yapping at the very beginning, and I did take a break in the middle, so that might be why it felt shorter, but I do think, just time-wise, it was a bit shorter than the first investigation. I'm going to go through all this evidence next time, so I'm not even going to think about it. But yeah, I'm actually definitely more excited to figure out what the hell is going on, because I feel like I have less of a grasp on what... Just from the initial investigation, I have less of a grasp on what actually happened. Like, I have some ideas, then I feel like that evidence contradicts them. Just for an example, Asuka's body. I feel like that they were ambushed, and then someone slit their throat, but then their hands are bruised, which implies they were in a fight, so I don't know how that plays into it. And there's also Manwin's arms, the things in the library, the yellow scraps of paper, the poem. There's so much that I don't know how that hasn't fit into it that I haven't thought about it yet. I feel like the first investigation, even though I had stuff wrong, I feel like a lot of the evidence kind of intuitively clicked together, and I was able to figure it out more. And this time, I feel like I'm gonna have to think about it a lot more than last time. And I will say that that same with Toshi at the very end has definitely made me interested in him. I haven't really been invested in this whole hero and villains thing, but depending on how this trial goes, I might actually spend some time with him trying to get to know more about him if it goes interesting. I'm not sure how they would do it. I just really like the idea that of him thinking that everyone is a villain except him. I feel that'd be a very interesting angle to go for. That Asuka was his only hero here, and that Asuka died, and the hero was conquered. That might make him see as everyone else as a villain. I think that'd be a very interesting angle to go down with for his character to see how he would react if not only him, if he was the only hero here and everyone else was a villain. I think that'd be interesting to see. With Ryu, I really enjoyed playing with Ryu in this investigation, even though he's usually more reserved and I haven't been interested in him. As the chapter especially got near the end, I really liked how he's just a really relatable character. I feel like he's very relatable in how he's acting in this situation, kind of being to himself, having something to defend himself, just outright admitting that he hates people. His reaction to Mayame at the end of last trial. I feel like he's just like a very relatable character and treats the killing game as a normal person would. And that's actually made me like him. So I hope he makes it to the end. And I might actually spend time with Ryusuke and Toshi if they make it out of this trial alive. But yeah, that's it for today. In tomorrow's episode, I'm going to go through all the evidence, read it out loud, just so I can refresh myself going into the trial. Like chapter 1, I am going to have a theory going into it. I obviously said my thoughts at the beginning of the episode, but because I do have some thoughts in my head right now, but since I'm going to go through a full theory at the start of tomorrow's episode or the next episode, whenever it is, I don't want to just go through the same. I don't want to say stuff and then just repeat it at the next episode. So I want to keep it to my head for now. But yeah, tomorrow's episode, we're going to begin the chapter 2 trial. We're going to get vengeance for Ikki and Asuka. But there's nothing else for me to say. I'll see you tomorrow for the chapter 2 trial of Jikoronopa. Bye-bye.